All right, for this episode, we're gonna continue on with our monochromatic painting. This is the arm of Arnold Schwarzenegger, black and white. I've already pre-mixed my values, my ivory black, titanium white, got my middle tone, my local light, and my shadow. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We still got 5 values again. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is take a brush, one of my number 8s, my number 8 bright, and I'm going to mix just a small amount of linseed oil into my dark value, mixing just a little bit of linseed oil into this value so I can draw with it. We want to get it to consistency of like a watercolor or ink. We don't want it to run. I'll put just a little bit more. If you notice, I'm putting it not in the actual pile, just up here. I don't want all of it to be that diluted and liquid. So I've got my palette over here, my palette of values over here. Now we're going to start on this. Okay. We'll start up here. See how that looks. Okay. Something like that. We're not going to worry so much about the hand and the fingers. We're just going to, the arm. Okay, that shoulder's coming up like that. And we're going to go over here maybe. Now this bicep. Arnold's got a big bicep, so I give it a nice flush there. Okay, basically we've got the outline of the arm. The first thing we want to do is fill in a background to get rid of some of that white. To do that, I'm going to mix a mixture between the middle tone and the light. I'm going to do a mixture right in here to make it flow and stretch it. I'm going to put a couple of drops of linseed oil in it. That'll make it flow a lot better. It's got a value right in between the two. It's going to be our background. We're getting rid of the white of the canvas. Went a little dark there to the wrong pile, but we're going to lighten that up a little bit. Add a little bit more linseed oil, make it stretch. Now we'll take, let's see, move this over a little bit. Actually, this is the space between the lats and the arm. Now, the bottom part of this background, I'm going to lighten it up, lighten the value up a lot. I'm mixing a little light of more white into that and adding some more linseed oil. I should have a lighter value. Linseed oil helps it to flow. This background can be scumbled in real quick, it doesn't take a lot. You just want to cover up the white paint, the white canvas. And we'll do the same on the other side of the arm. Now I've got my background in, covered up the white canvas, got my outline of my arm, and now we can proceed to paint. First thing I do is put it in the shadow. In this case, the light is actually coming from the left, so the right portion will naturally be in shadow. As in painting the sphere, this is not ultra ivory black. This is our value right before we get to the black. Now, we're going to put it on mid-tone right alongside of it. We're not blending yet. The mid-tone is the transitional tone between the shadow and the light. Back to my shadow brush. Make sure the canvas is showing through. And this goes up here a little bit closer. Now we'll put this little area in, another part of the musculature. And we've got an area right here. We're going to move this over a little bit. That's one thing that's good about these brights. They've got good edges on them, good solid edges, and you can really get in there. This is just part of the body that's in shadow. just gonna put in a little bit of this and we'll leave it. Just so we can contrast on that bicep. Okay. All right. Still using the shadow brush. Now I'm going to my mid-tone brush. If you notice, I'm not doing any blending right now. All this is just setting up the values. Soften this edge right here. We'll continue on down. And we're going to put some of this middle tone value along this outer edge. I'm going to add a little more shadow on the back of that arm, right about here. Now I'm going to my light brush. You want to put all your values in first before you begin to blend. Now we gotta go back to my mid-tone brush and go in some of this area here. Back to the light. Add a little bit of linseed oil to my light, make it flow a lot better. Paint was sitting up a little bit and thick. Still putting in the light. A little bit more linseed oil. You see, that linseed oil makes it flow a lot better, makes it easier to paint. You don't want to put too much, get too wet. Just blocking in the values right now. almost finished with the local light, body tone. Okay, now we're going to start blending, and I will use my blending brush of my dark tone and start from the blending the shadow into the middle tone. You always blend in one direction. Even though I may change directions. Like now, I'm going this way. But I always move my brush in that one direction, not back and forth. Every now and then I clean the brush off. That's what I just did. Wipe it off a little bit. In case it gets excess paint on it. We're blending the shadow into the mid-tone. Every now and then I'll take my brush, wipe it off. Now right here, we're gonna soften that edge. Nice soft edge right in there. And we'll continue on down the arm. Still blending the shadow into the mid-tone. Now we're going to blend the mid-tone into the light. Now on that shoulder, I've got some blending to do. I use my number 12 filberts. Nice and soft. One is for dark values, the other is for light values. We'll use the dark value first. This brush is a lot wider and softer than the brights. I'm following the form as I blend. Now I'll take my filbert for my lighter values. You can go follow the form, bringing the mid-tone into the light. Now while we're still on the shoulder, I'm going to take some pure titanium white and put it about right here. And this will be more or less the real highlight. It'll show better once the paint is dry and I'll go back over it and really bring it out a lot. Right now, this pure white is mixing into the local tone, body tone. You don't see it that well. Now we're going to continue with my middle tone brush again, wiping it off, middle tone into the light. I'm going along these edges on this one, make it a little softer transition. Shadow brush. Anytime you got a problem with a value, pick up the brush of that value and blend it. Then go back to your other brush. Now this situation here, I'm going to soften it right here. For this particular area, I'm going to take my softer filbert, the darker tones, Now I will continue with my mid-tone into the white, the light. Continuing on down the arm. I'm going to blend this, smooth this out a little bit. Up here, I'm going to go back to my dark value brush. Smooth these edges out so we don't have abrupt, sharp edges. I don't want that. Now I'll take my dark value filbert just goes from the shadow to the mid-tone. I'm using my shadow brush again. I'm gonna work on this area, maybe fill that out a lot more. Now I'm going to take my light value filbert and go in from the mid-tone to the light. Now what I'll probably do is wait till it's dry. Usually be dry in a couple of days. I didn't paint it too thick. And titanium white and ivory black doesn't take as long to dry as some of the cadmium colors. Once I do that, once it's dry, I'll go back in and I'll add any areas like some of the veins in the arm, and any other little areas that we need to emphasize the form. It's a little better to do that when it's dry. Now, dark value again. And that's just about it. So you can always find areas to blend again. I switched to my dark value filbert. That's why you want two of them. You want one for the dark values and one for the light values. Sometimes I just switch them back and forth. Now I'm back to the light value again. So we want to maybe kind of go up here a little bit. That's too square. Let's see here. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, once it's dry, we'll go back and we'll put the veins in. As I say, most of the time you can always find some area to blend that you want to do get it blended a little better than before. We're not going to worry too much about it. I say it's just a little slight exercise. Now I'm going to use my light brush, wipe it off real good with pure titanium white. And we put it where we think the light might be a highlight on this form. Using pure white. These are the most prominent areas that will really stick out. After it dries, we'll go back onto some of these and make them pop even more. Got my mid-tone brush again. Okay. For now, we're going to leave it like that till it dries. Then I'll go back in and restate the darks and add the veins and even restate the highlights in certain areas. If I put them in now, they wouldn't show up as good. They would basically mix right in with these particular values because they're wet. Once they dry, I can put it right on top of them. So we're gonna give this a chance, a couple of days to dry, and add some of those little finer details on it. Like I said, it's blending. You could mess around with this all day. We're gonna call it a wrap right there. And going to give this a couple of days to dry, and we'll go back into it and bring it out even more. But one thing I need to do, this area right here, before I leave it, I'm going to go into my ivory black, straight ivory black. Okay, that's a wrap. Give it a couple of days and we'll get back into it. See you then.